Last time, we began covering a scenario where Universe 6 and 7 were just one universe. There's been some major changes in the universe already, and the main story hasn't even really begun yet. So what's going to happen now that we have some of the Saiyans arriving to Earth? We'll be discussing that and more in this part 2 of What If Universe 6 and 7 were one. Piccolo is immediately ready to fight. Seeing that this guy's clearly a Saiyan, his first instinct is to jump into battle. This is bad. The Saiyans aren't supposed to be here for another few months. They're not ready yet. Goku's not back either. And the worst part is, he's the only one here that knows too. The other fighters are all off somewhere else. Piccolo has to face this alone. And Cabba simply asks for the Saiyan named Kakarot or the one named Raditz. He just wants info on either of them. Piccolo tells him they're both dead. If he's looking for his friend Raditz, he's gone. And Raditz is the reason Goku's dead too. And Cabba just gives off a sigh of relief. And that leaves Piccolo kind of confused. What, he's not worried that one of his comrades is dead? And Cabba tells Piccolo he thinks there's a misunderstanding. But Piccolo questions, he is a Saiyan, isn't he? And then he notices he doesn't have a tail either. It seems the two of them have to catch up a bit. Cabba learns about Kakarot and how he eventually became Goku. Jocko actually never knew of that. A while ago he was tasked with killing Kakarot as a kid, but never ended up doing that. Thankfully for him, it seems that the planet remained okay, and the Saiyan didn't cause any rampage here. Cabba knew that one Saiyan, Raditz, came here, but he didn't know that the other three are actually going to show up soon too, with Raditz warning them. So that must be Prince Vegeta's crew. Piccolo also learns about the Saiyans, hearing more of the history of them, and how there's kind of two different kinds of Saiyans. The Sadalan ones without tails, like Cabba, or the Vegetan ones, like Vegeta, obviously, or Goku. It seems Goku's a weird case because the Vegetan Saiyans actually are more, well, destructive, while Goku's a good guy. And Cabba mentions how Saiyans like him are a lot more passive, but have greater potential than the Vegetan Saiyans. Goku's apparently a low-class Saiyan from that society, and Piccolo's a bit confused on why there's two separate groups of Saiyans. They still don't know about the separate universes thing, so Cabba doesn't really have an answer for that. Cabba does say that he's around Goku's age, and explains how his family deserted planet Vegeta, with him being the sole survivor. For a while he's been trying to help the Galactic Patrol stop Frieza, which includes stopping the Saiyans and his army. He's not even sure if the Saiyans are loyal to him. The Saiyans should hate Frieza, if anything. But Vegeta and the three Saiyans that were part of his crew, well, now the two Saiyans that are part of his crew, they've remained loyal soldiers to Frieza. And Cabba thinks this might be a good opportunity. They're gonna get the two Saiyans alone. He could figure out what their true motives are. Maybe they do want to revolt against Frieza. And if not, well, it leaves the perfect opening for them to destroy the rest of the Saiyans, if they truly are that evil and loyal to Frieza. And Cabba tells Piccolo that he'll join the fight. He can't promise that the rest of the Galactic Patrol will help, but he says that he will. The rest of the Galactic Patrol knows that Frieza's army is very formidable, and they kinda tend not to get involved with that. But Cabba's doing this on his own accord. This is a personal goal of his. And Piccolo can't believe it. They found another Saiyan and he's actually on their side, supposedly. He's still not that trusting. Piccolo was pretty suspicious about this whole thing. But then Kami butts in. He could sense this guy's presence. And he asks Piccolo. He feels it too, right? His energy. There's no malice in it at all. Piccolo's still wary about this whole situation, but at least he might be able to trust this guy. And then Cabba asks something kind of weird. So, Goku's been on this planet for this entire time and is assimilated with the humans. Cabba asks if Goku has a kid or anything. And Piccolo tells him about Gohan. This makes Cabba pretty excited. He's heard rumors about how strong hybrid Saiyans can get. This isn't just Saiyans with other species. With Sadalan and Vegetan Saiyans, this was the case. Although there weren't too many of them, and they're all gone by now, supposedly. But a Saiyan and Earthling hybrid? He's glad to hear about this because he could be a very valuable asset. Although the issue is, Gohan's pretty young, and very inexperienced, and pretty cowardly too. Oh yeah, Cabba should have realized that. Well, maybe he could help train Gohan. But Piccolo's not too sure. He's confident in his own methods. And no offense, Cabba did say he is a more passive type of Saiyan, so he wonders how strong Cabba truly is. And Cabba would be glad to show Piccolo. The two of them begin sparring, and Piccolo immediately comes to learn that Cabba is actually quite skilled. Despite being a pretty young Galactic Patrolman, he's very experienced as a fighter. Almost as much as Goku, actually. Of course, his fighting style is completely different, but he can immediately tell that this guy's very smart. Not to mention, powerful. And because of this, Cabba's gonna help Piccolo spearhead this whole operation, since it seems like he's kind of the one leading everything. Which includes Cabba training Gohan. It's even better because he learns that they have a way to bring Goku back to life, and Cabba wonders how strong Goku can truly be. He grew up here on Earth and apparently grows pretty quickly as a fighter. As a low-class tailed Saiyan, maybe he's not that strong. But at the same time, he seems like a very unique case, so maybe he's actually more powerful than Cabba expects. And let's cover some power levels at this point too. Cabba's the strongest of the group, at a power of around 6,000. Piccolo grows a bit stronger too because Cabba becomes his training partner. And with such a strong and experienced training partner like that, Piccolo's power jumps to 4,500. And with Cabba's involvement, Gohan's training actually goes a lot more smoothly. With two teachers around like that, it really does help him grow as a fighter, controlling some more of his power, putting him at around 2,000 before any rage boosts. Although this doesn't mean he's going to be a perfect fighter by now. It just helped him out a little bit. But Cabba says there is one advantage the other Saiyans have that he doesn't. They have tails, which means they can transform into great apes. While the Sadalan Saiyans have greater potential and can grow faster as fighters, them turning into great apes is a huge advantage. Although Gohan's tail got cut off by Piccolo already. And it turns out Goku's tail's gone, and it's been gone for a while, and it doesn't seem like it's coming back anytime soon. So unfortunately they don't have that power on their side, but at least they know to watch out for the other Saiyans' tails and see if they can cut them off somehow, just to prevent them from transforming. And eventually, 3 Saiyan space pods arrive on Earth. They actually have a little bit more info about these Saiyans thanks to Cabba. The Galactic Patrol got some more info on the Saiyans as well. They're much stronger than Raditz, but they don't know the extent of the Saiyan strength. There's 3 members of the crew. Vegeta, the prince, who's definitely the strongest. Then there's Napa, who's a pretty high-class warrior. From what Cabba knows, he seems strong, but Cabba might be able to match him, possibly even surpass him. But then there's one more Saiyan that they don't really know much about. She's also fairly strong and probably around Nappa's level. And her name is Caulifla, and Cabba can't really confirm it, but from their data, it seems she doesn't have a tail, which might mean she's a Sadalan Saiyan, which makes no sense that she's part of that crew, because apparently she's just as good at the job as the other 2. So maybe she's a Vegetan Saiyan that got her tail removed, but they can't know for sure. It's just worth noting though. The group comes face to face with these 3 Saiyans, and just like Piccolo feared, they're way stronger than Raditz. Cabba can sense Ki too, and his predictions were right. Napa and Caulifla are around the same, but Prince Vegeta, he's definitely the strongest of them. Way stronger than anyone they have in their group, but they might have a shot if they work together, and if Goku comes back on time, they'll be able to defeat him with Goku's help. But surprisingly, none of the Saiyans attack first. Nappa just plants some Cybermen, and as soon as they hatch out of the ground, Cabba wastes no time. He immediately pulls out a blaster, shooting at all of them with precision. The Cybermen all explode. He didn't want to take any chances with them. The group might be able to defeat the Cybermen easily, but he knows the tricks of them. He's actually fought some himself. It's too risky to leave them around. And Nappa perks up. It seems like they have another Saiyan here. That's strange. They don't remember hearing about another one living on this planet. And then he nudges Caulifla. He says maybe she's the same type of Saiyan as him. So it is true. They're both the same kinds of Saiyans, but then why is she with that crew? And Nappa says he hopes she doesn't mind, but he's gonna have to fight this guy. And the 2 of them start arguing, deciding who gets to defeat Cabba. But then Piccolo speaks up. He yells out to Nappa saying that they'll fight together. A Namekian. Interesting. Fine. Caulifla could fight that other Saiyan, while Piccolo will fight Napa. Krillin butts in, wondering if Piccolo will be fine, and Piccolo says he should be okay. At his current strength, he should be able to take Napa, with Piccolo actually having a higher power level than him. And Cabba feels just as confident too. If Caulifla's around the same strength as Napa, he'll have no problem. Piccolo and Cabba assume a battle stance, while Caulifla and Napa do the same, with Vegeta watching as the 2 duos launch in towards each other. And the rest of the fighters watch on with amazement. They can't believe how strong Piccolo's grown, and more importantly, how strong Cabba is. It's good that they have another Saiyan on their side. Well, besides Goku, of course, who should be arriving here pretty soon. He's running late, but maybe they'll be fine with just Cabba and Piccolo's help. And Yamcha says that they have Gohan too, who apparently has some pretty crazy power stored away. And Gohan's still a bit nervous to fight, but he's glad that the rest of his friends seem so confident about it. Maybe this won't be as bad as they thought. And Nappa taunts Piccolo. Piccolo isn't using his 100% power because he does want to conserve some of it. And he asks Piccolo if he's sure if he doesn't need help from the humans. He'll even let them bring one of them in with him. How about that short one, huh? And he beckons over to Krillin, telling him to join the fight too. This irks Vegeta a bit. He's pretty focused on Cabba and Caulifla's fight because it seems like Caulifla's losing a lot of ground. And Nappa seems to be holding his own well, but he doesn't want him to get too cocky. And Piccolo smirks. Okay, he'll bring Krillin in. And the 2 begin fighting Nappa together, with Piccolo saying that he has an idea. He just needs a little bit of time to charge his attack. And Krillin's not sure if this is going to work, but Piccolo quickly gives him the full rundown of what he's got an idea of. So, they decide to apply it. Krillin puts his hands on his head, performing a solar flare, blinding Nappa as Piccolo then quickly jumps back, starting to charge his own attack. And Nappa's infuriated, swinging punches randomly. He'll kill that weakling for blinding him. But as his vision comes back, he looks around frantically, and at the last moment, he hears a beam fire towards him as Piccolo yells out. Nappa turns, seeing it at the very last second, jumping up in the air as the beam grazes him, and he laughs. Did that fool expect that to work again? They heard it all in the scouter. They know Raditz died to the same thing. But then he hears another ki attack launched towards him. Mid-air, he turns around, seeing that Krillin launched a Kienzan at him. This is nothing to him. The Kienzan curves as it flies towards Nappa, going completely vertical, and Nappa decides he'll catch it between his hands, standing there with his hands in front of him, ready to catch it. Oh god, Krillin doesn't want to see this. He looks away and Nappa wonders why, as he tries to catch the Kienzan in his hands. And he times it perfectly, but the attack's powerful. It slips right through his hands, and then right through him. Piccolo lands on the ground nearby, with 2 separate halves of Nappa then landing on the ground too. And Piccolo tells him to toughen up. That's his own attack after all. He's gonna have to get used to that if he wants to use that attack more. Their plan worked perfectly. Piccolo's attack was just a distraction, dropping Nappa's guard so Krillin could use his own. And Piccolo knew that Krillin had some new attack that he wanted to use, but he didn't know it was that potent. And yeah, it's kinda disgusting. Vegeta was so preoccupied with Cabba and Caulifla's fight, and he just now notices that Nappa was killed. That's why he didn't yell out at Nappa to dodge it. He just sees 2 halves of Nappa on the ground. Really? He felt at those 2? It doesn't seem like Caulifla's doing too well either. Cabba's holding his own pretty well. He doesn't even seem too injured, while Caulifla's definitely having a tough time. And Vegeta's pissed off that she's not doing more. He tells her to pick up the pace. He knows she's the second weakest in the group, but this is pathetic. And then Caulifla yells at him to shut up. Don't intervene either. She's got this. But as she looks over to Vegeta, she sees where he's standing. He's right near Nappa's body, or half of it at least. What? They killed Nappa that quickly? And Cabba looks over and he's just as surprised. And he lets Caulifla in on some info too. He's nearly stronger than those who combined, and if they were able to kill Napa that easily, this shouldn't be a problem. And he's about to land a finishing blow, but before he does, someone else launches a blast at her to end the fight. The blast doesn't kill her, but it launches her far away, taking her out of commission, and Cabba looks around to see that Vegeta was the one who launched it. He's angered. He has no use for her anymore. Damn it, he should have known that those two would fail him. They can't believe he did that. He attacked one of his own crewmates, and he doesn't seem to care that Napa died either, or Raditz for that matter. But Vegeta simply doesn't care. Maybe it would be better if he fights them himself. But they still need to buy some time. Goku's not here yet, so Krillin butts in. Doesn't Vegeta want to fight that other Saiyan Goku as well? What, Kakarot? That guy? He's still not here yet. He's running late. And he doubts that Kakarot's going to be much stronger than them. But Piccolo promises that he is. And Cabba butts in too. He's only heard about Goku from other people, so he actually doesn't know too much about him. But he tells Vegeta that Goku's actually stronger than him. Doesn't he want to fight another Saiyan like himself? And Vegeta's a bit annoyed, but fine. He'll wait. And Cabba does try to stall a little bit more, asking about Vegeta's true motives. Vegeta's not giving a lot of info, and it's going to take a lot to pry out of him. They don't know that part of the reason he came here is for the Dragon Balls. But from what Cabba could tell, this guy isn't truly loyal to Frieza. They still seem to be terrible, but maybe they have a common enemy. Of course, Cabba can't see them becoming allies anytime soon, but maybe they don't have to destroy the other Saiyans. Maybe they can actually just temporarily work together against Frieza. Cabba doesn't float this idea just yet, but it comes to mind. Vegeta definitely doesn't seem to care about Frieza. He's more concerned about his own Saiyan species, which is also exactly why he decides he's going to fight Cabba first if Goku doesn't get here in time. And surely enough, Goku doesn't get there in time. Hours pass and he's still late, only a few minutes away, and it looks like they have no choice. Cabba steps in, ready to battle, and Gohan watches on. He has the feeling that he needs to do something here. He actually does have some sort of a connection with Cabba too. It's not as deep as his connection with Piccolo, but Cabba came here and helped him. He helped Gohan grow stronger. He's a teacher to Gohan, and just as importantly, he's one of their allies, one of their friends now. Cabba assumes a battle stance, getting ready to fight Vegeta, and as the fight begins, he completely outpaces Cabba, and the rest of the group watches on completely hopeless. Cabba's the strongest of them, and Vegeta's fighting him so effortlessly. They gotta do something to help, but nothing they can do will work. And then Piccolo flies in. He'll help too. They just need to buy a few more minutes, and then Goku should be here. And Gohan stays with the humans, still terrified about this whole thing. He wants to help, but he doesn't know if he can. But he watches as Cabba and Piccolo desperately try to fight Vegeta. Nothing they do works. And his anxiety then turns to some sort of rage. Seeing his teachers, his friends, getting hurt like that, it causes a temporary fit of rage for him. The humans sense Gohan's power rise dramatically. As an aura flares up around him, he launches in towards Vegeta. Vegeta's scouter beeps, and he looks over in the direction of Gohan, and his scouter then explodes. Wait, what? Gohan lands a direct hit on Vegeta's stomach, delivering a flurry of kicks and punches, then jumping up in the air, launching a volley of ki blast down below, with Piccolo and Cabba barely getting out of the way. And Cabba looks on with awe. It seems their training paid off. That combined with Piccolo's harsh training really toughened him up, but Cabba's influence definitely helped. And he knew Gohan had some crazy latent power, but it's interesting to see a Saiyan like this. It makes sense that he's a hybrid with humans, but still, to see reserves of power like this, it's incredible. Is this what all hybrids are like, even for non-human hybrids? The dust settles and Gohan powers back down, surprised at what he did, and Vegeta's there, having defended against all the blasts, but he's clearly a bit scratched up. And then Cabba takes notice of something. His tail. It's not wrapped around his waist any longer, and Vegeta's completely focused on Gohan. He might attack him soon. And in a split second, Cabba decides to act. Vegeta almost goes to attack Gohan after that, which helps to distract Vegeta, but Cabba sees a great opportunity not only to keep Vegeta from doing that, but also an opportunity to get the upper hand here. He quickly pulls out his blaster, channels all of his ki into it, and aims a precise shot at Vegeta's tail. The blast quickly darts across the battlefield. Vegeta doesn't even have a chance to react. He's already mid-attack as he lunges towards Gohan, and just feels a sharp pain in his tail as it's cut off. He stops himself mid-air, looking back to see that it's been cut, and Cabba's standing there with his gun pointed out, with smoke coming off of it. Infuriated, Vegeta then launches towards him, with Cabba desperately getting ready to defend. And then there's a loud burst of energy. A streak of red light flies across the battlefield next. Vegeta never makes it to Cabba. Something hits him mid-air as he's sent rolling across the field. Cabba drops his arms and sees someone in orange standing in front of him, with a yellow cloud floating above him too. Gohan looks over and smiles, and Cabba says this must be him. This must be Goku. Goku turns back to look at Cabba, saying he's glad to finally meet him. King Kai did tell him about this other guy here. Apparently, he's a Saiyan as well. He was surprised to hear that there was another Saiyan that wasn't bad like his brother. Good to know that he's not alone. Vegeta gets up quickly. In that split second, he was punched in the face. He didn't even notice Kakarot arrive. And what was that red flash of light? And he smiles. Finally, he gets to fight this other Saiyan. Far away from the battlefield, Caulifla regains consciousness. Infuriated that Vegeta did that, she pulls out her scouter to try and find where the others are. And she locates the general direction. But for a split second, another power appears, and then it sharply shoots up, starting at over 8,000 and then doubling quickly. Her scouter explodes. What the hell was that? This is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next time? After we finish the Saiyan saga, we'll be seeing a lot more unique arcs. So be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. It shows me you want to see more like this, and that helps to support the channel too. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.